everybody. So I'm here today with my week 3 check-in for my keto and intermittent fasting plan. I've been doing almost every day 18 hours of fasting with, 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours with an eating window. And I have been maintaining a sort of keto balance. So this week, actually, my carb rate went up a little bit. I was more like 19% instead of like the optimal 10%. And my fat percentage went down to 58% instead of the 70 that I'm aiming for. So it wasn't quite as strong on the keto. I did, however, manage to lose 1.2 pounds. So that's a total of just over 3 pounds in 3 weeks. Not too bad. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. So yesterday I had my 4th session with my nutritionist, Megan Kelly, and I expressed to her that I've been kind of worried that, like for those who are dieters, you're probably familiar that in your first week or two, typically you tend to lose a lot of weight all at once, right? So it's not unheard of to lose 5-6 pounds in the first week, maybe 3 or 4 in the next week. And that didn't happen for me. And so I'm worried, am I going to hit a plateau, really soon? I'm going to stall with my weight loss. I also haven't had that surge of energy that a lot of people talk about when they're doing keto and intermittent fasting. So it made me wonder, am I not getting into ketosis enough, or are my adrenals so tapped out that I am not producing, adrenaline or cortisol or whatever? So Megan said she was actually pretty encouraged that that didn't happen, because a lot of times when you do drop a lot of weight all at once, it's often because it was a lot of water, and it's an indication of a lot of inflammation from, probably pretty poor diet. I didn't have that. And also, if I was to have that sort of adrenaline response, that's really a stress response. And as someone with an autoimmune disease who already is prone to inflammation and adrenal fatigue, we don't want to kind of add to that. So the fact that I haven't been like with a lot of irritability, I haven't been super, having distressing hunger, that's all good signs. She says, slow and steady is what we're after here. We need to have a really nice balance so that I can sustain it, because that has been my challenge throughout my life, is sustaining my choices, my habits for a longer period of time so that they can become sort of new normal. So the other thing I asked Megan about was my energy levels. I am taking thyroid medication, and last I checked, my thyroid hormones were in the, normal range, maybe not in the optimal, but in the normal range. And so I don't understand why it is that just because I might do, let's say a moderate intensity workout and then choose to do an hour or 2 of housework and then go grab some groceries, that I should now need 2 days to recover from that because I'm just so wiped out from that. That just seems crazy to me. And why would that be the case if I am, taking this medication? And, she reminded me that there are other aspects to autoimmune disease besides your thyroid hormones that are at play. Inflammation is certainly part of that. And also, thyroid and adrenals do tend to kind of have a bit of a vicious cycle between them. So adrenals are often overstressed or overtaxed. So I am still clearly in a recovery mode, and it's hard to say how long my body might need to take to pull out of that or to fully recover. And until that time, Megan really kind of just encouraged me to nurture a sense of acceptance. That's definitely something I have struggled with. I'm always saying, well, I should be able to do this. And actually, she said, just try to accept that it's part of what your body needs right now is the rest. And so if I'm going to do a fairly hard workout, or what's hard for me at this point, don't plan to do a whole bunch of housework on the same day. Or if I do, plan that I will need a day or 2 of kind of low energy days to recover. And I guess she's right, because clearly that's the fact. So that is something I will continue to be working on. Um, so what else? She did, however, I asked her like what level of exercise she recommended, and she said typically the recommendation is like 30 minutes of walking and maybe per day, and maybe 90 minutes of like yoga per week. So I have actually been doing 30 minutes of walking per day, and I've been doing 3 days of, or 3 workouts a week, usually more, what weight training, like light weight training, body weight training, and or some cardio. So she recognized though that for me that has a strong mental health component. I feel good about myself when I'm working out and getting stronger. So even though my progress is a lot slower than it ever used to be, she doesn't think I'm overdoing it, and I should just manage those workouts with other activities that I have to do in any given day. So I guess the key message is just, stay the course and continue to be gentle and gradual. So I'm going to continue with this kind of level of keto and intermittent fasting for another 2 or 3 weeks and just see how I'm doing. See if the weight loss continues at this pace. Make sure that my energy and my hunger and all of that stays steady. If I continue to get good or consistent results, I'll stick with it. If I start to plateau with the weight loss, or I start to get irritable or have other signs of not feeling good, then I'll reach out to Megan again for another consultation and talk about changing things up a little bit, maybe reintroducing a bit of carbs, but with some longer fasting or something like that. But the key thing that I want to do is make sure I don't jump too far into things too fast. And that is something I've super appreciated working with Megan. My tendency is to kind of jump in with both feet and go kind of push too far. So she helped me to do the last 3 weeks of progression into this in a more slow and steady way. And that's been really helpful to help me maintain it. I think had I been left to my own devices, I probably would have jumped like into doing what I'm doing now in week 1, and I probably would have ended up with like headaches and maybe more fatigue, more irritability, cravings, and probably would have given up. So so I think it's been really helpful. I'm really glad that I did reach out to work with her. So that's my plan. I'm also going to start reading a book called The Obesity Code that's been recommended to me by a few folks. That is by Dr. Jason Fung, and he's the foremost leader in intermittent fasting. And he's from Scarborough too. That's where I'm from. So that's what I'll do, and I'll come back with another update in another couple weeks and let you know how I'm doing. So until then, stay safe and stay well. Bye.